Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. Woo! It is 2025, and I'm doing a new thing here at Read with Carylee. I've decided to go live, and I'm going live right now on YouTube and on Instagram, and we're going to try to see if we could pull in even more platforms as we go live. But yeah, it is 2025, and I know that I have had an amazing journey as a children's author. I'm going into my 8th year as a children's author, and I decided this year, and probably, of course, in the going years, I'm going to share my journey and share how it is to really define yourself as a children's author. Um, and, you know, there are so many things that I go through as a children's author. Of course, I'm a self published author. I have built a brand. Oh, yeah, of course, you can see here. No, over here. I'm trying to get used to this. Carylee, the Tutu Queen, award-winning author, diversity advocate, entrepreneur, and publisher. Yes, so that's the many hats that I wear, and it's been an up and down journey. So of course, I'm going to take you along with me. We do have now a KidLit Elevate Mastermind that we have started. It started yesterday, January 1st, and we're pushing it out. And we have right now, we are slowly growing. We have 9 authors who have registered, and we're just getting together. I have done the work in the background to be able to get authors hopefully to where they want to be. And, we just want to make sure that we're all coming in with the right intention. We're all coming in with wanting to be a part of this group and wanting to give to this group and receive from the group. So yes, there is a payment of $15 a month, but that's just to make sure that you are intentional, because I know with most groups, most masterminds, everyone signs up and they're excited, and then they don't do the work. And that will be taken away from me. That will be taken away from the other authors that are in the program. So we want to make sure that we are all aligned, we are all connected, and going out and making sure that we are doing the best that we can for the children's author community and for children's literacy. So I just really want to talk about today about an initiative that I have really kicked off. And that is the Norma Rose Local Library. And I am so excited to kick that off. Of course, Dr. Norma Rose McPherson was my mother, who 5 years ago, she was with me. Yesterday was her birthday. She would have been 70 years old. And 5 years ago, she woke up in my house. She woke up in my house. We spent the day together. I would say that January 2nd, 2020 was pivotal for us. I had never really sat down and talked with my mother as in depth and as a grown woman, like I did. So it was really a great day for us. And unfortunately, on March 29th, 2020, the world lost a champion for education and literacy. And she actually passed away from metastatic breast cancer. So, in having this Norma Rose Local Library, this is definitely paying tribute to her, continuing her legacy. And, that is the reason why I have continued to go on with Read with Carylee. But before I even get into the development of Read with Carylee, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what the Norma Rose Local Library is aimed at doing. My passion is highlighting local authors. I myself am a children's author. I didn't grow up in Virginia, but I am here in Virginia. This is where I got my start as a children's author, and I started going around to local schools and saw how kids would light up, and you know, knowing that kids kind of gravitate to what is around them. And of course, on the diversity aspect, authors who live in a certain area have dialects and, the way that they write and, the schools that they go to. It's all in their neighborhood. But I have come to see that a lot of authors are not known in their neighborhood. And that is because the books are not in the schools. Schools and libraries are flooded with representatives from publishing houses, Scholastic, Hyperion, Penguin, Random House. And yes, that is great. They are there for a purpose. They're doing their job. They have authors that they uh, have bought the rights to their books, but there are some authors that may not want to sell the rights to their books and may want to keep the credibility of their books and the way that they wrote their books and who they wrote their books for, which of course is also going to be the children that are around them. So having a local highlight with children in uh, the same area, that is a passion for me. So, of course, many know that I started the Read with Carylee show that highlighted authors and said where they were from. So this is kind of taken it to the next level. What we aim to do is to have a bookshelf, or have a bookcase that is stocked with literature from the local authors, not from authors that are all across the world, but that bookshelf in itself could be a standalone in a local library, in a community center, in a church even, and it will be stocked of books that are written by authors that are in that community, in that state, in some cases in the tri-state area, but so that children could get the love of reading and get the love of from learning from authors who are in their surrounding area. And also teachers can have author visits from those authors, and kids can say, hey, that book is in my library. Hey, that person lives down my street. I didn't know they were an author. So it's really opening up the door and opening up the world for us to be able to connect with our local authors, support local, because, many authors, especially self-published authors, they are their own small business. I am my own small business. Read with Carylee is a small business that is trying to make a global and national impact. So with that, we are trying to really push this effort of getting books into schools from local authors. Excuse me. We are live. So, and it's going to be, if a school, we are trying to raise the funds right now to be able to distribute 10 local libraries this year. And, even more, the sky's the limit. I'm not going to limit it at 10, but we want to put at least 10 local libraries into schools, community centers, shelters, wherever this year in 2025. And how will we do that? So we are hoping to partner with some companies to be able to get a bookcase or build a bookcase, a specialized bookcase that will be for that, the purpose of the Normal Rose local library. And if we can't, you know what, we'll go ahead and we'll purchase that bookcase. But we want to be able to then go ahead and purchase books from local authors, because as I said, they are a local business. They deserve to be supported. And I don't want to just say, oh, can you donate 5 books to us? We want to be able to support these local authors, because if we are just looking for donations from these authors, we are actually taking money out of their pocket. And that is something that I do not want to do. So we would purchase books from the local authors, stock the shelves, and deliver it to the schools, the libraries, the community centers. Now, of course, we are seeking funding. So we are looking for that from you. And after this live on YouTube, I will post it. I will post the link for the donations in the description. And for you on Instagram, it is already in my in the link in my bio. It's one of the, I believe, one of the first links for in my bio. So, you know, just really trying to support the author community, support children's literacy, support diversity in children's literature, because if children can relate to the books that they are presented with, they are more likely to continue to read. So let's get on that. Let's support each other. So going back a little bit, why did I start Read with Carylee? My author journey is a lot like most authors that are passionate about this, most self-published authors. I started it for my son. When my son was in kindergarten, he was told by a classmate that he should only be playing with children of the same skin color. He was on the slide and he went down the slide, and he was playing with all his friends and a child, and I've shared this so many times, and I've shared a couple times that this was a child that was of the same skin color. So because my son was playing with everyone, and I'm not sure if that child felt left out, but he said to my son, "Hey, you should only be playing with Black kids." At 5 years old, that is not something that I thought that should be coming out of a child's mouth or be stated to my child. And of course, I heard the name of the child, and I did automatically think that this was someone of a different race. But as I found out, but even before I found out, I said, this is not something that I want my child to be hearing. And this is not something that a child should be saying to their classmates. And what are they learning at home? Who is giving this information to them? Because it may not always be the parents. It could be, from other children, from TV, from other things that they are involved with. And I toiled with it for a while, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to be able to find something on my son's level. Like I said, he was 5 at the time. I wanted to find something on his level that would be able to teach him that is not the way that we should think. So my mother, who was a literacy coach, said, find a book. And we both searched. We searched on Amazon. She was a literacy coach in New York City, so she used her resources to be able to search, and we could not find a book. So my mother said, you know what? Well, you're a writer. So if you can't find the book for your child, you know what he needs. Why don't you write it? My mother had been trying to get me to write professionally for years. I had published poetry. I was, the editor of my school newspaper. I had even, uh, in the beginning of my college career, studied journalism and wanted to be a journalist. But I was just like, okay, no, you're just trying to get me to be a writer again. I don't want to do this. I don't want the rejection. I don't want to, have doors slammed in my face. So I put it aside. But one night I woke up and I was just like, the idea of this book came to my mind. And I was just like, okay. It's like I woke up, couldn't get back to bed or anything like that. And the entire book came out that morning. I think I woke up at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the entire book was written by about 4. So I wrote the book and I was just like, oh my gosh, what is this? And the next day I sent it to my mother and she was just like, oh, you should get it published. I'm like, okay, of course you would think that. But I was just like, okay, I've heard the stories of J.K. Rowling and so many other authors that sat on the bookshelves for years. I was like, I think this is something that needs to come out now. So I don't want to really wait around for a publisher, or even try to find a publisher. I'm like, how like that's gonna be like a second job. Of course, I had my my job at that time, and I'm a mother of 2 kids, was a wife at the time, and I was just like, okay, all right. So she said, look up self-publishing. I was already in my 30s. I don't think I ever heard about self-publishing. So I looked it up. I stumbled onto some self-publishing companies, and I went with one that seemed a bit more secure because this was the self-publishing arm of Simon and Schuster. And I was like, okay, all right, well, let me look into it and all of that. So, well, the whole process wasn't as hard. It I had a good publishing consultant. Her name is Virginia. Virginia, if you are still around, thank you so much for being so awesome and so great. And I wound up publishing this book, and I was just like, okay, all right, I published it. It cost a lot of money to self-publish it from this self-publisher. And I was just like, okay, I spent all this money. Now what am I going to do? So I had a few friends that were teachers. Like I said, my mother was a literacy coach, and we started trying to figure out how to get my book out. And it was my first 2 author visits. One was virtual. The very first one was virtual, which I had never done before, and this was to my 5th grade teacher, who is still teaching. I think she may be retiring soon, but she is still teaching. Well, I'm not sure how soon because she ain't old, but she is still teaching to this day. She had moved to Georgia. Hi, Miss. Oh, well, okay. Her name was Miss Ellis back then, so I'm still to my heart, she's Miss Ellis. But Miss Ellis, saw my posts on Facebook about my book and everything, and we got in contact with each other. And she was like, well, I would love for you to come to my school. And I was just like, well, you're in Georgia. And I'm in Virginia. And I was like, okay. And she said, we can do it virtually. That was amazing to be able to get that. And of course, had like she is teaching second grade. We had the entire second grade from her school come, and I read my book, and it was awesome. And that was my first author visit. And my first in-person author visit was from a friend who was a teacher. Well, she still is a teacher, Jennifer. Hey, how you doing? She teaches right here in Virginia, in Haymarket, Virginia, at ALV Elementary, JWALV. And she invited me in, and she organized everything to be able to get me my first bulk sale. 180 books. What? Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I was just like, okay, all right, send me the names of all the kids. I want to sign all the books. And still to this day, I sign all my books, all books that come from my website, or if I have an author visit, I still do sign all my books. Vendor events, sign all my books, because that is just something that I feel that is so awesome for kids to be able to get a signed book from an author. That is amazing. But yeah, so I went and I got that first author visit. I was scared to death. I still remember, because of course I still have pictures. I had a friend of mine come out, take pictures. And then looking back at the pictures, I was like, oh my gosh, what was I wearing? I wore a blazer with a Mickey Mouse t-shirt and jeans. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to do an author visit. But that author visit, of course, changed everything for me. And I'm not going to give too much more, because there's more that I'm going to be spilling and giving information about and sharing with you. But of course, I have committed to be on here live for whatever reason. If I have an appointment that I have to take, if I have an author visit, I'm going to be traveling a bit more this year. I have my first traveling event later this month, and I will be in a different time zone. So, but I will make sure that I will be here. I will be doing these lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock Eastern. So please jump on, send your questions. Thank you, Inkway Publishing, for connecting and interacting with me this morning on Instagram. I will be on Instagram. We will be on YouTube. And I'm gonna try to see if I can get things together and have it on Facebook, my Read with Carylee community Facebook. So if you are not on my Read with Carylee community Facebook, it is facebook.com/Read with Carylee, or just at Read with Carylee. I'm on everything at Read with Carylee. We'll even try to see if we can get these lives on TikTok for as long as TikTok lasts. But I'll be here Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. I encourage you to also, if you want to get the motivation, the encouragement, and we're going to be doing some awesome challenges to be able to help you grow as an author. Go to my Instagram at Read with Carylee and register, and I'll try to link it below as well on YouTube in the description. Register for our KidLit Elevate Mastermind. It's only $15 a month so that we make sure that you stay engaged, you do the work, because I'm doing the work to get it to you. And just come on, join our mastermind. We're going to grow together. It's going to be an awesome 2025. If you are an aspiring children's author, you definitely want to join this mastermind. We'll be talking about content creation for social media. We'll be talking about branding. We'll be talking about marketing your book. We'll be talking about even developing your book. And also, if you want to work with me one-on-one, just contact me at Read with Carylee. You can email me at info at readwithcarylee.com, and I will connect with you. I do one-on-one coaching and mentoring. If you want to be able to publish your book this year, if you want to get the idea, if you have an idea and you want to grow that and go ahead and publish your book, I will help you through that. So just make sure you contact me. You can DM me. You can reach out to me in the comments, and I'll get back to you. So until next Tuesday, be here on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm going to try to get us on Facebook, but you got to make sure that you tune in so that you can learn more about the author journey. If you want to send me questions on what you want to learn, just send them to me. Okay. We'll be on here 30 minutes. I'm checking out at 9:30 because I still got to do the work. I'm going to be jumping on KidLit Elevate in a few minutes. And I hope that you join in to KidLit Elevate. I hope you join us here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, and just continue to grow as an author. Have a great day. This is all community, and we are building it together. And make sure you go to readwithcarylee.org to support. Go to my Instagram to support the Norma Rose local library. We'll be having so much more that's going to be coming out on that. So until then, we will see you. Remember, always, authors, to grab a book and read. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.